Here he is.
I knew it would come to this one day. I knew. And no one believed.
I need training in heavy armor.
Well, at least you're smart enough to want to learn more. I'll show you what I can.
You probably weren't expecting to see me again.
Wow, Serana, no, I was not expecting that. What are you doing here?
I'd rather not be here either, but I needed to talk to you. It's important, so please just listen, before your friend here loses his patience. Well, it's about me, and the Elder Scroll that was buried with me.
What about you?
The reason I was down there, and why I had the Elder Scroll. It all comes back to my father. I'm guessing you figured this part out already, but my father's not exactly a good person, even by vampire standards. He wasn't always like that, though. There was a turn. He stumbled onto this obscure prophecy, and he just kind of lost himself in it.
What do you mean, lost himself?
He just became absorbed. Obsessed. He was kind of sick, actually. The prophecy said that vampires would no longer need to fear the sun. For someone who fancied himself as vampire royalty, that's pretty seductive. Anyway, my mother and I didn't feel like inviting a war with all of Tamriel, so we tried to stop him. That's why I was sealed away with the scroll.
That's interesting. And what does all this have to do with the Dawn Guard?
I'm sorry. I had heard there were vampire hunters here. I thought they might want to know about a vampire plot to enslave the rest of the world. Was I wrong?
No, you're right. We just have to convince the others you're on our side.
Well, let's move then. I'm nothing if not persuasive.
Okay. I knew there had to be more to than just doing side quests for Serene and Gunmar. And where is he? Oh, there he is. Okay, Isran, what's up now?
Alright, you've heard what it has to say. Now tell me, is there any reason I shouldn't kill this blood-sucking fiend right now?
Yeah. Set your hatred aside and try to see the larger picture, Isran.
Set my hatred aside? Not a chance. It's what keeps me strong.
You don't trust her, fine, but trust me, I believe her.
You better know what you're doing. It can stay for now, but if it so much as lays a finger on anyone here, I'll hold you responsible. Got it? You hear me? Don't feel like a guest, because you're not. You're a resource. You're an asset. In the meantime, don't make me regret my sudden outburst of tolerance and generosity. Because if you do, your friend here is going to pay for it.
Thank you for your kindness. I'll remember it the next time I'm feeling hungry. So, in case you didn't notice the giant thing on my back, I have the Elder Scroll with me. Whatever it says, it will have something that can help us stop my father. But, of course, neither of us can read it.
Who can?
Well, the Moth Priests are the only ones I've heard of who can do it. They spend years preparing before they start reading, though. Not that it helps us anyway, because they're all half a continent away, in Cyrodiil.
Some Imperial scholar arrived in Skyrim a few days ago. I was staking out the road when I saw him pass by. Maybe that's your Moth Priest.
Do you know where he's staying now?
No, and I'm not going to waste men looking. We're fighting a war against your kind.
And the
And I
chummier you
intend to
are,
win
the
it.
greater the offering
You
you
want to
make.
find him? Try talking to anyone who'd meet a traveler. Innkeepers and carriage drivers in the big cities, maybe. But you're on your own.
Any idea how you're going to find a Moth Priest? Skyrim's a pretty big place.
Where would a moth priest actually go?
Well, back before you know, the College of Winterhold was the first place I'd think to go for any kind of magic or historical thing. The wizards know about all kinds of things that people probably shouldn't know about. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to come along with you. I've been really wanting to get out and explore a bit.
Sounds good to me. And what do you know about Elder Scrolls?
I mean, as much as anyone. Not a lot. You'd figure a couple hundred years locked away with one would have given me some insight, but no. Turns out you don't learn much from just sleeping with something.
Are you saying you want to learn more about me?
Not at this rate, no.
Were you always a vampire?
That's a long story.
I want to hear it.
I guess as good as it gets. We kind of have to go way back, to the very beginning. Do you know where vampirism came from?
I don't know much about it, but I would guess it came from a Daedric lord.
Exactly. The first vampire came from Molag Bal. She was not a willing subject, but she was still the first. Molag Bal is a powerful Daedric lord, and his will is made reality. For those willing to subjugate themselves, he will still bestow the gift, but they must be powerful in their own right before earning his trust.
How did you exactly become a vampire then?
The ceremony was degrading. Let's not revisit that. But we all took part in it. Not really wholesome family activity, but I guess it's something you do when you give yourselves to a Daedric lord.
How has it affected your family?
Well, you've met most of us. My father's not exactly the most stable, and eventually he drove my mother crazy with him. And it all ended with me being locked underground for who knows how long. It's definitely been a bad thing, on the whole.
Do you ever think about curing yourself?
A cure? Why even think of it that way? I can't think of any reason I'd want to lose this gift. Especially after what I did to get it. It may have driven my family apart, but I'm still here, and I'm alive. I won't give this up.
Well, sounds fair enough, Serena. It's your decision, so I'm certainly not going to press it. Alright, so she's part of our group. Let's see here.
Oh, what is it?
Let's trade some things.
This better not be all the things you just can't be bothered with.
It isn't.